Hello scrapbookers, this is Megan, and I am back today with my day number 4. Yay, I'm kind of getting back on track now. I'm still sick. I found out I have bronchitis and C. diff. I don't know if you've heard of C. diff, but it is an intestinal infection and it can be very, very bad. So it's good that we figured out that that is what I have. So I'm just waiting on antibiotics to be sent to my pharmacy so I can go pick those up. Okay, so let's start talking about this spread. So for this day, I had 6 photos. And so my idea here is on this left side, I'm going to put these 2 photos of my dog Max. And I am going to back them on this pretty poinsettia paper. And then also I want to use that number 4 and put it in that kind of white space next to Max on the photo. Because that's just my dresser and that's not an important part of the photo. So I am going to cover it up. So here I'm just gluing everything down. And what I wanted with these 2 photos was every morning on the weekends, Max comes in and he will sleep with me in my bed for a while because I like to sleep in on the weekends, and my husband is usually home on the weekends, so I can do that. And he's a very sweet and loving husband and knows that I like to sleep in, and he never sleeps in. If he sleeps in, it's like, what? It's the end of the world. So he lets me sleep in, and it's super sweet, and I love him to death for it because, yeah, normally I wake up around like 6:30, 7 o'clock with my kids. So on the weekends, I like to sleep in until about 8:30 if I can. Sometimes I don't get to sleep in that late, but this morning I think Max came in around 8 o'clock or 8:15, and so he cuddled, and he likes to lay at the bottom of the bed by my feet, and he keeps my feet warm. So it's just something fun. So now here I am pulling out my fuse tool because I wanted to make some shaker pockets on this little spread. So for now I'm just going to heat it up because I've heard that it takes forever to heat up. So I plugged it in, and I'm just going to set it aside on my desk to make sure that it is hot enough. And I think it was probably like 10 to 20 minutes that I let it just sit there and heat up. So when I actually used it, it worked amazing. Okay, now here you can see I'm using this little, I don't even know what you call that, fringy thing. It's kind of hard. It's got a wire in it, and then it's got, I don't know, plasticky things coming off of it. I don't know what you call that stuff. Then I used a pop dot to glue down my number 4, and I have these Candy Cane Lane cute little brads, so I am going to cut off the brad part of it and then put a pop dot on the back, and I'm going to stick that right above that number 4, and it just says holidays. And now I'm looking for my little tile letters. I also pulled off one of these little circle stickers, and that one says all I want for Christmas. And then on top of Max, I'm just going to put the words sleeping in because that is really the best present I could ever have, right? Being able to sleep in. My kids have never been really good about sleeping in. Jonas, my oldest, he can usually sleep in, but his brothers are so loud in the morning that they usually just end up waking everybody up. So now here I'm going to do sleeping in the color green and then the word in the color red. And I was thinking about maybe doing sleeping in with Max, but it was just kind of too long. So I decided just to go with sleeping in. Okay, now I am all done with that card. So I am just putting it back in the slot or in the pocket. And now I'm going to move on to this top card. And I'm going to use that same poinsettia paper. And for this card, I knew I just wanted to do the journaling on this one. I did kind of mess around with maybe the idea of putting another photo in there, but I liked the idea of having the journaling on top of that first picture. So now here I'm just gluing these two pattern papers together. And now I am going to debate whether I should journal right on that diagonal paper. I really like that diagonal paper, and so I wanted it to show through, but I was afraid if I journaled on top of it that you wouldn't really be able to see very well. So here you can see I brought in a glassine bag, and those I get from Spiegelmom Scraps. And they are perfect to do hidden journaling and things like that. And so I was thinking I would do some hidden journaling, but then I realized, oh, it's going to be inside a pocket and it's going to be hard to pull out. So I'm going to decide not to do the hidden journaling in the pocket. And it actually, like, it works out fine. So I just pull out this green paper, and I just got that in a pack from Michael's, and I'm going to write the journaling about the day. So it just says, we had a nice Sunday together as a family. I got to sleep in with my cute pup at my feet. We watched Christmas movies and Mark put the train together. We were so sad to find it won't fit under the tree in the new house. Sad times. Because we had bought this train, I think it was last year, and it was a pretty big train. And it fit in the old house. We had a little bit bigger area in the old house where we had our tree. So it wouldn't fit under the tree in the space that we have at the new house. So we were kind of sad about it. And so now it's just, Mark took it apart after realizing that he could pretty much almost lay flat inside the train. We don't remember it being that big, so that's kind of funny. So he took it apart after that, and it's just sitting in our garage. Okay, so now here, let's see, I'm looking for some papers and trying to figure out exactly what I want to do on this side of my December daily. So this little photo right here is I took a screenshot of some Facebook messages that I was that night chatting with some of my scrappy friends on Facebook. And so I just took a screenshot and decided to put that on the pockets on the right side, because they were little 2x2 pockets. So here I am just cutting up paper for this top pocket up there. And I really liked this. It's kind of an off-white color with black chevron. It's not pure white, but I still liked it. So I'm going to mat the photo on that, and then I think I'm going to ink the edges with Topiary from Close to My Heart. And then I'm also going to mimic the decoration on this photo area, because I decided it would be cute just to leave these two photos together, because what I did was I printed off a 4-piece photo collage on my Canon Selfie. So here I am just putting together this bottom pocket down there. And I didn't have enough of that red paper, so I'm going to have to piece it together, and then I end up not even keeping it. So it was kind of silly that I spent so much time trying to piece this part together. I cut it too short, and it was this whole big fiasco. But finally I get it done. So here I'm just going to pull out some washi tape and tape down these two pieces. I'm also going to use my hot glue gun. I shouldn't have used my hot glue gun. I think that's kind of where it threw me off. So here I'm just fidgeting and fidgeting with that. And now I am not really liking the way that looks. So I'm going to put down that red piece of embellishment, and then I'm going to pull out this green ribbon, and I like how that looks so much better. So I'm going to cut that. and I'm going to glue that down just with my ATG gun, and then that is going to be done. I do pull out a cute little enamel snowflake to put on that bottom pocket. Oh, I must do that a little bit later. Oh, no, there we go. And then I'm also going to ink the edges on that as well. I might do that later on. So now here I'm going to start cutting up this little instant message, Facebook message snapshot. And I cut off the photos because there wasn't really enough room, and then I'm going to glue my responses back on. So I'm just going to cut out little squares of my responses to what we were talking about. And this was Hannah, Christy, and I were talking on Facebook chat one night. We like to chat, and I think we were actually chatting about our recent series that just got over, the Mojo Busters, and we have a chat with Caddy too. She just was at work, I think, that day or that night. Okay, so now I have that all together, and then this part I had to cut off. I wanted the timestamp to be on there because I thought, I don't know, I'm crazy and I like to know what time things happen sometimes. So I decided to just cut off the timestamp and glue it on there, even though it was kind of cut off and it doesn't look amazing, but I don't know. I like the little details. And I decided I was going to do just some journaling straight on that bottom part of that messenger photo. So I'm going to cut off this cute little scallop ribbon, and that just kind of divides the conversation so that you know, okay, so the conversation's over and then this is my journaling. And I grabbed the wrong pen. I used this, I have a Slick Writer pen, but I used this one, and so I kind of smudge a couple of the words. I was trying to blow it off and all of this stuff, but it didn't work amazingly great, so I did have to pull out my Slick Writer pen in a little bit to kind of fix where I smudged it. Okay, so now I am going to use my Holly Berries mix, and I got this mix from the Spiegelmom Scrap Store. This is my favorite mix from her holiday collections. I love this mix. And I am going to use my fuse for the very first time. I was kind of nervous because I know some people say you should do a practice test on something you don't care about, and where here I'm doing it right on the actual one I'm going to use. Like, I was kind of nervous, but it works out okay. And I pick it up and I forget that it wasn't closed already, so it made all the sequins spew out. But here I was off looking for my heat mat. This is my Fiskars mat, and it can take heat, whereas the Heidi Swap one that I have, that I use on my desk, can't. So I did that first one, and then now I'm going to do this bottom one. And I'm running out of sequins in this pack, so I have to pull out another one. I have 3 because I knew I wanted to do some of these sequin pockets in my album this year, and so I made sure that I bought a bunch of these from Jody's shop. And I'm sorry about my head there. Kind of got in the way. So I had to close the side and the bottom because when I was putting the sequins in, the bottom did kind of split open a little bit. So I just wanted to make sure that no sequins would fall out. Okay, so now I'm going to put this second half of that chat photo in there, and then that is the end of this layout. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I hope that you are enjoying this series as much as I am, even though I'm a little behind. But thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye!